Hi viewers, this is Drone Apps. In this channel, we are explaining how to make a drone and its applications for various domains. We are working to make the drone application technology easy for all. Let's see the major parts in the drone. In this discussion, we will focus on to the major parts. After that, we will see its application in different domains in the later sections. Coming to the major parts of the drone, the first part is about the body. So that is called as structure. Structure includes, it depends on the type of the drone that we are looking at. Can be a quadcopter or a hexacopter or the legs it will be having, and using that one can stabilize the drone for flying it to different applications. The structure plays a major mechanical part which can provide you the center of gravity required, and it will ensure that stable flight. The second part is the actual actuator part, which includes the propeller, which is connected to a motor, and this motor will be controlled using electronic speed controller. Called ESC. So this propeller and motor and electronic speed controller as a unit provides the thrust required for the structure to be flying. And for example, quadcopter will be having this complete set, 4 sets will be there, and each will be rotating clockwise and anti-clockwise, these propellers, and offering the flight. The third part is the power part. This entire propeller system is driven by a electrical power. The major unit is the battery. And there is another unit called power distribution board. This is PDB. This PDB ensures that the battery power will be given to the propeller and other units in the drone in a reliable fashion, and it sets the limits of the corresponding units. The fourth part is the flight controller. Once you are having the propeller and the power unit, there will be brain of the drone is required. The control part, and which acts as a brain of the drone, is called flight controller. This flight controller is connected to the major parts of the system. For example, it connects to the motor through the electronic speed controllers, and it connects to the power distribution board, and it connects to the remote control aspects of that, which entirely controls all the parts of the drone. The fifth part is the remote control, which includes the transmitter and as well as receiver. The transmitter will be with the user hand, and the user can have all multiple controls for drone to be going up and down and different rolling aspects of the drone. And whereas the receiver will be at the drone, and it will be connected to the flight controller, and remote control commands will go to the flight controller, and flight controller data will also again go to the remote controller to see the status of the drone. Likewise, these 5 components majorly plays a role for drone to be flying and drone status to be maintained and stable. Let's see our first part, which is the structure. So in structure, there are many types of structures. You can select quadcopter, hexacopter. Here we just shown the diagram which is about the quadcopter. And the structure is majorly made of materials like lightweight materials, and which are and also stronger, so that they will be good in terms of flying into outside some harsh environments. And also these materials are such enough good durable, that means long lifetime, and also low cost materials. So mostly the body part, which is the center part, is glass fiber frames are available. The arm part, which is majorly nylon arms, will be there. And this structure essentially provides the stable flight, and also the structure is having the center of gravity at the center, which allow you to have the balanced thrust. In the second part, we have propeller and motor and electronic speed controller. These 3 parts, the major duty is to provide thrust for the drone, so that drone will be flying in a height. So in the battery, we have a brushless motor, you can see here, and this have adapters which allow you to fix the propeller on top of it. This is the propeller part of it. These propellers can be rotated clockwise and as well as anti-clockwise. This motor will be connected to the battery through a electronic speed controller. This electronic speed controller is chosen to provide reliable power to the motor, and also this will be compatible with the battery. In the third part, we have power unit. The power unit is majorly driven by battery. The battery is more consisting of the major material is the lithium polymer, and this battery comes generally in multiple cells. It is either 6 cells or 3 cells based on the amount of battery capacity required, and it also have one parameter called discharge rate. And based on these parameters, battery powers entire multiple components of the drone. And the battery and the other components which are connecting through the battery, there will be power distribution board, which essentially have battery eliminator circuit and provides reliable power in terms of either 12 volts or 5 volts. Generally these 5 volts are used for the flight controller and the remote control receiver parts, and other parts in the drone are provided with the 12 volts. And it also has different LEDs and major multiple resistor and capacitor units, so that this entire board is to provide the reliable and stable power to all the drone parts. In the fourth part, that is the flight controller. The flight controller is generally the brain of the drone. It consists of major parts including the processor and the sensors and GPS and also memory units and also various operations. Now we will go the processor, this flight controller. These 4 are the motors. Through electronic speed controller, they are connected to the flight controller, and this flight controller is powered by this battery through power distribution board here. And also various sensors are connected. For example, analog sensors, for example wind sensing sensor, which connected to the ADC part of it, and whereas the digital sensors such as cameras are connected through the interface called I2C to the flight controller. And also this flight controller has multiple safety units, which has safety switch. Whenever the power is more than certain limit, it will cuts off, and also buzzer, it will gives alarms whenever anything happens beside the limits of the settings of the flight controller. And also it has a GPS unit which connects to the flight controller and which provides the stable position as well as the time stamping of the various sensors data. And it also have the flexibility of the telemetry, and it provides the telemetry, and also on screen display also it has access. And moreover, this part is the remote controller which controlling the drone aspects, and the receiver part is this one which is directly connects to the flight controller. And in the memory aspects, there are 3 parts of the memories are there. One is the RAM and flash memory, and RAM is generally used for all processing aspects of the processor, and flash memory includes the major code which is the firmware of the flight controller. And the SD card is generally having high memory which is used to store the images of all the sensor data. And in order to operate this flight controller, first the flash will be having the firmware that will be loading into the flash memory, and after that various calibration settings of the flight controller will be tested. Then after that it is used for testing the attitude stabilizations. Then various other functions can be programmable in this flight controller. In the fifth part, we have a remote control. In the remote control, we have transmitter and receiver. The transmitter generally with the user hand, and receiver will be on the drone and connected with the flight controller. This remote control have 4 major motion controls. One is the altitude control, another one is the air control, that means sidewise steering, and another one is a roll, which is like a rotating about an axis, and another one is the pitch, which is the front part is bending up and down, those kind of motions. Here you can see that all roll, air, pitch or the rotations about the x, y, z axis. And this remote control also includes various switches and knobs. These switches and knobs are used for various mode settings, and also the channel sensitivity settings, and also the drone will have lights for its to recognize front and back parts of the drone. For these lights also can be controlled using the remote control. This remote control will have a power button and also it also have an LCD panel where it shows the various parameters of the channels and the status of the remote control unit. It has an antenna unit. Using this, it communicates with the flight controller. The remote control consists of 2 joysticks. These 2 joysticks, one is for 2 motion control, another is for 2 other motion control. The left side one is used for altitude control and also air control. And between these 2 controls, we can have there is a switch Using that, these two motions can be selected. Similarly, using the switch, we can select the roll and pitch motion control using this right side joystick. And using these two joysticks, we can control all the 4 motions of the drone and also various channels, which is allow you to connect to the flight controller.